Wow. Come home from work early and you walk in. Your wife is sitting on the couch, no clothes on, with another man. All that hard work you've been doing, working 8 to 12 hours a day to take care of her. Subject: I came home early and found my wife sitting naked with a man in his boxers. Here's the full story. Hey man, I've been watching your channel for a long time, and I've always wondered what I would do if I were ever in one of the stories you read. I never thought I'd be the one writing in, but here I am. My name is Thomas. I'm 37 years old, and I live in Georgia. I'm a truck driver, been doing it for over a decade, and I've seen a lot on the road, but nothing prepared me for the betrayal I found in my own home. Let me just get straight to it. My wife, well, ex-wife now, cheated on me. I caught her red-handed, sitting on the couch butt naked with some loser who was in his damn boxer shorts. That image is burned into my brain forever. And the worst part? She didn't even try to deny it. Not really, just tried to lie her way through it until I shut it all down. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how the woman I married turned into this. Let me back up and give you the full story. My schedule and the setup she thought would work. I work long hours, Monday through Friday. I'm up before the sun, around 4:30 a.m., and I'm out the door by 5 to pick up my truck. I run delivery and logistics routes all over Georgia. Some days I'm in Augusta, some days I'm down in Valdosta. It varies. I usually don't get back home until 5 or 6 p.m., sometimes later. The job pays well, and it kept us afloat, especially when she started working from home during the pandemic. I didn't mind it. I'm not the type to complain. She worked at a call center, one of those remote jobs where she could stay in pajamas all day. We were making it work, or so I thought. But then things started to shift, and I missed the red flags. Looking back, they were right in my face, but I was too focused on making money and staying on top of bills to notice what was happening behind closed doors. Red flag 1. The disconnection. The first red flag was emotional distance. You know what I'm talking about, the small stuff at first. She used to greet me at the door. I'd come home and she'd at least look up from whatever she was doing. But after a while, I'd come home and she'd barely glance my way. No, how was your day? No hug. Just her glued to her phone or laptop, or some show I don't care about playing in the background. I chalked it up to stress. I mean, I get it. Jobs can be draining, even at home. But this was different. There was a coldness in her eyes, like I wasn't even there. Red flag 2, secretive behavior. Then there was the phone behavior. She used to leave it lying around, charging on the nightstand or on the kitchen counter, but she started taking it with her everywhere. I'd go to use the bathroom and notice her phone on silent, flipped over, tucked under the pillow. Once I asked her who she was texting late at night, and she said it was a friend from work. I didn't press, because again, I trusted her. That's on me. Red flag 3, I'm just tired. The third red flag? Sex stopped. It wasn't gradual either, it just flatlined. At first she said she was tired, then stressed, then just not in the mood. This went on for months. I didn't want to be the guy who nags for intimacy, but I'm human, and it started to wear on me. I asked if something was wrong. She'd brush it off or change the subject. Now I know why. How we met in the early days: I met B, not using her full name for legal insanity reasons, through a mutual friend at a cookout. I was 30 at the time. She was 26. We hit it off fast. She liked that I had a stable job, that I had no kids, and that I wasn't in the club every weekend. I liked that she seemed family-oriented and chill. She had this warm smile and a great laugh. Things moved quickly. Too quickly, if I'm being honest. Within a year, she started dropping marriage hints. I wanted to wait. I was laser focused on building up savings, getting my credit tight, and maybe buying a house before proposing. But she said things like, "Why waste time? Or if you really love me, why wait? I gave in. That's on me again. I let love override logic. We got married 18 months in. The honeymoon and the cracks. The honeymoon phase was great. We traveled, cooked together, binge watched shows, all of that. For the first couple of years, things were mostly smooth. Sure, we argued like any couple, but nothing crazy. But then came the baby talk. She wanted to start trying. I wanted to wait a little longer. I said, let's get the finances more stable first. That turned into fights. She started accusing me of not wanting to build a family, said I was being selfish. I explained over and over that I wasn't saying no, I was saying not yet. But the pressure kept building. The day everything changed. Now here's where it gets insane. One Thursday, I was running a delivery up near Macon. The warehouse called and said the load was canceled. Rare, but it happens. Dispatcher told me to go ahead and take the rest of the day off. I'm thinking, great, early day, maybe I'll surprise the wife, take her out to lunch or something. I get home around 11:45 a.m. The house is quiet. No TV, no music. That alone was strange. I walk inside, and the first thing I see is a man's shoes by the front door. Black sneakers, not mine. I walk into the living room, and there they are. She's on the couch, completely naked. He's sitting next to her in just his damn boxer shorts. My blood boiled. I'm 6'5", 250 pounds. And when I say I went off, I mean I went off. I didn't say a word at first. Just walked over, grabbed dude by the collar, and dragged him off my couch. He starts trying to talk, but I wasn't trying to hear it. I tossed him out of the front door like garbage. The aftermath. She starts crying, wrapping herself in a blanket, begging me to forgive her, saying it wasn't what it looked like and we were just talking. That's when I saw them, 2 used condom wrappers on the floor by the coffee table. I lost it. I said things I won't repeat here. Stuff that made her sob uncontrollably, and I didn't care. She earned every syllable. I told her to leave. She called her sister. 30 minutes later, she was gone. The divorce process. The next few days were a blur. I took my PTO and vacation days. I needed time. Time to breathe. Time to think. I found a lawyer fast, and I didn't waste time. Filed for divorce within a week. Then, like some twisted joke, she comes back. Says she needs to get her stuff. I let her in, thinking this will be quick. Instead, she drops to her knees and starts begging. Tells me, I'll let you sleep with as many women as you want if you'll just forgive me. I looked her dead in the face and said, I already filed. You'll be served soon at your sister's house. That's when she dropped another bomb. I asked, why aren't you at work? She goes, I've been part-time for months. My jaw hit the floor. She never told me, lied for months while I was out busting my ass every day. That's when I realized just how deep the betrayal ran. I asked her straight up, who was that dude? She tells me she met him on a dating app, says he's in between jobs and comes over for breakfast because he's hungry. That's when I told her to shut the hell up. I didn't want any more lies. The clown show called court. She got served, tried to play the victim, hired some greasy lawyer who strutted into court like he was on a soap opera. Dude starts making demands left and right, asking for lifelong spousal support, trying to say I forced her to work part-time, that she sacrificed her career for the marriage. Absolute BS. My lawyer came prepared, pulled up her call logs, work logs, even found out she voluntarily reduced her hours without telling her employer why. Turns out she was trying to get fired and collect unemployment while living off me. Court was a war zone, but we won. She didn't get a dime from me, no spousal support, nothing. Judge saw right through her. We didn't own the house, so when the lease renewed, I kept it. I was paying all the bills anyway. Her contributions were limited to food and her own car insurance. She moved into her sister's place, and I haven't seen her since. The road ahead, I'm back on the road now, still doing my routes, still waking up early, still grinding. But the difference is I'm free. I don't come home to lies. I don't worry about who's in my house. I don't check the phone bill anymore. I sleep better. I eat better. I even picked up fishing again. I've got a long way to go before I open my heart to someone else. But right now, I'm focusing on myself, rebuilding, living, not surviving. To the men out there working their asses off while someone cheats behind their back, pay attention to the signs. Trust your gut. Don't let loyalty become your downfall. Appreciate you for reading this, brother. If you read this on your channel, just call me Thomas. Stay sharp out there. Thomas. Subject: Thomas again. Life after the betrayal. Hey man, it's Thomas again. I wasn't sure if I was going to write back, but you replying to my first email was a surprise. I can't tell you how much it meant to see you reply back to me. You didn't sugarcoat anything. You didn't play it safe. You said it how it was and gave me your thoughts. That's exactly what I needed. So thank you. Seriously. I figured I'd write in again for you to add more to the email if you'd like to actually post it. Not to rehash the same stuff, but to give you and everyone else an update, a part 2, if you will. This time I want to talk about the road to healing, the part that happens after the betrayal, after the papers are signed, after the silence sets in and you realize, damn, it's really over. You know, for a while, I didn't even recognize myself. I used to be a proud man, solid, consistent, reliable. But after what B did, I felt like a broken down rig sitting on the side of the highway with no fuel and a busted axle. My thoughts were all over the place. I couldn't sleep. I barely ate. My appetite went missing like my trust. And no lie, I even thought about quitting trucking altogether. That's how deep it cut. But let me back up. After she left, and this time I mean for good, I took some time. I used the last bit of PTO I had and some unpaid days just to get my head straight. I drove down to Savannah for a weekend, stayed in a cheap motel, and just sat with my thoughts. No distractions, just me, a couple of cold beers, and the crashing waves. That trip changed something in me. I think for the first time since everything went down, I stopped blaming myself. That voice in my head that kept saying, if you were home more, she wouldn't have done this, started to quiet down. Because the truth is, a good woman doesn't need a babysitter. She doesn't betray you just because you're working. She supports you, holds it down, and builds with you. And B, she wasn't that woman. Never was. I just didn't want to see it. I started journaling. Yeah, a 6-5. 250-pound trucker journaling. Go ahead and laugh. But I needed an outlet. Writing helped me get all the poison out. Helped me see patterns I hadn't noticed before. Helped me understand why I ignored those red flags I mentioned in my first email. I reread that first email before writing this, and damn, it still stings. But I don't cry about it no more. I got that all out. I bled that wound dry. You want to know the turning point? The real moment I felt myself stepping back into my power. It was the day her sister called me. Random, I know. She said B wasn't doing too well. Apparently, she tried to talk to some other guy and he ghosted her after 2 weeks. She was crying, talking about how she messed up everything and how I was the only real man who ever treated her right. Her sister asked if I could talk to her, said maybe closure would help her move on. I told her she had closure the day I found those condom wrappers on my floor, and I meant that. She played herself, not me. I gave her loyalty. She gave me lies. I gave her a home. She turned it into a motel. I gave her my time, my energy, my soul, and she spit in my face. So no closure talk, no friendly sit down, no catching up over coffee. She's my ex-wife, and that's where it ends. After that call, I started taking care of me again. Got back in the gym, changed my eating, dropped 15 pounds of stress weight. My back don't ache as much. My knees ain't clicking like they used to. I feel like myself again. Maybe even better. I also started reconnecting with old friends. Some of the guys from my training class years ago, we've been linking up at truck stops when our routes overlap. Turns out, I'm not the only one who went through something like this. One of them told me his wife left him after 20 years for some dude she met on Facebook. Another guy said his girlfriend of 6 years emptied their savings and ran off with her personal trainer. Man, it's wild out here, but it helped hearing their stories. It reminded me I'm not alone, that good men get screwed over too. That loyalty, sadly, is a rare trait these days. Financially, I'm okay. The divorce didn't ruin me. Like I mentioned before, we didn't own the house. The lease was in my name, so she had no leg to stand on. Her lawyer tried to make demands, but mine chewed them up like day-old roadkill. The judge saw through the crap. I walked away without owing her a dime, and I kept everything I paid for. I've even started putting money aside to eventually buy my own place. I don't want to rent forever. Maybe a small house out in the country, something with a porch and space to breathe, somewhere peaceful. Emotionally, I'm still healing. Let me be honest, some nights still suck. There are mornings when I wake up and expect her to be there, just out of habit. I don't miss her. I miss the version of her I thought I had. The one who greeted me at the door when I got home from a 14-hour run. The one who used to pack my lunch before a long haul. The one who smiled at me like I hung the moon. But that woman wasn't real. She was an act, a mask. And once she took it off, the truth came out ugly and foul. Now I've got peace. I walk into a quiet apartment and don't wonder what's hiding behind the doors. I don't question if someone's using my shower or sleeping in my bed. That kind of peace, you can't buy it. I also started volunteering on weekends at a local food bank when I'm not on the road. Nothing crazy, just handing out bags, moving boxes. But it reminds me that even after all I've been through, I can still be useful. I can still help. Funny enough, there's a woman there who's been real nice to me. Name's Lorraine. She's older than me by a few years, got 2 grown kids, and she's been divorced twice. She told me she reads people real well now and said she could tell I was carrying weight when we first met. We've gone out to dinner twice, nothing serious, just laughs and good conversation. But it feels nice to talk to someone who doesn't want anything from me, who isn't pretending. Do I see a future there? I don't know. I'm not rushing it. I told her straight up, I'm still healing. She said, me too, and we left it at that. Another thing I've learned, I don't need a relationship to feel whole. I'm rebuilding me from the inside out. And whether someone walks with me or I walk this road alone, I'll be just fine. Before I wrap this up, I want to speak to any man out there who's where I was a year ago, sitting in his truck, staring out the windshield, wondering where he went wrong, feeling like less of a man because the woman he loved stepped out on him. Brother, let me tell you something. It's not your fault she was unfaithful. It's not your fault she lied. It's not your fault she lacked character. You gave her your best. She gave you her worst. That's not on you. And when you finally cut her off, when you finally stop holding out hope she'll come back changed, you'll feel it. That peace, that strength, that clarity. It's like the sun rising after a long ash storm. So keep going, keep pushing, hit the gym, save your money, take care of your rig and your body. And when the memories creep in, when the pain tries to choke you, breathe through it. It won't last forever. Pain is a mile marker, not a destination. I'm proof of that. Thanks again for reading, brother. Thanks for holding space for men like me to speak our truth. I'm still out here, still running routes, still moving forward 1 mile at a time. Thomas. And that's how she repays you. Sir, you did the right thing by getting rid of her. You did, man. You know, I love that you added red flags that you missed. You know, things that happen, because I'm going to show somebody
You have to jump on that. When things are occurring and she's acting different and weird and red flags are happening, you got to start investigating, asking questions right then and there. I guarantee you go through that phone or laptop, whatever, social media, for sure, that's a big one. You will find out that she's been cheating. She's at home on dating apps while you're working. Is it worth it, guys? Is it worth it? Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. If you want to send in the story, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That's truestorynation@gmail.com. I'm going to catch you guys at the next one.